Good morning, I'm Diane Macedo. Thanks for streaming with us. In today's update, it looks like the Big Ten will play football this season after all. After several days of debate, the conference announced they will go forward with a fall season. COVID cases are surging in college towns across the country, but the league says it's exploring at least 4 rapid testing options that could allow teams to test daily. The season will start the weekend of October 24th. And the wildfires in the West have set a grim record, burning more than 5 million acres. New helmet cam video that you're seeing shows what it's like for firefighters there. Doctors in Northern California say 1 in 10 emergency room visits are now related to the poor air quality from the fires. And a historic settlement for the family of Breonna Taylor.
As significant as today is, it's only the beginning of getting full justice for Breonna.
The city of Louisville has agreed to pay Taylor's family $12 million and institute sweeping police reform. That includes requiring police commanders to approve all search warrant applications and sending social workers to respond to some police calls. The officers involved in the March raid that led to Taylor's death have not been charged. 1 officer has been fired. A Louisville grand jury could hear the case as soon as this week. And water levels are rising as Hurricane Sally crawls toward the Alabama-Florida border. Experts are warning of potentially extreme life-threatening flooding. Ginger Z is in Mobile, Alabama, with more on that. Ginger, what's the latest there?
Well, Diane, you can see the rain has stopped here. We're on the ragged backside of that storm that made landfall earlier this morning as a Cat 2. It is down to a Cat 1 with max sustained winds of 80. Look behind me, though. We're still seeing this Mobile River kick, and it's actually negative surge or anti-surge moving through the Mobile Bay. So that was good news water-wise over here. We had a lot of wind damage with gusts up to 80, but look at that radar. You still have significant rain falling, and we're talking about more than 25 inches that fell by this morning and another 20 on top of that possible. So Panama City getting some of those outer bands, nearly to Tallahassee, and now the outer shield has made its way up to Montgomery, even Dothan feeling this heavy rain. So I think flash flooding and high water rescues are going to be possible well inland. The storm now moving the fastest it has in about 24 hours, moving north-northeast at 5 miles per hour. It will start to pick up speed by tonight into tomorrow as it moves and slides into Georgia and then eventually South Carolina. Now North Carolina will be much weaker by then, but it'll have a lot of moisture with it. So really, if I can't emphasize enough that this storm, even though it looks like it's winding down, does not stop the potential for that deadly flash flooding. See how the movement here by Wednesday night, 8 p.m. tonight, you have that front that's been keeping it at the surface at bay and kind of slowing it down. That's opening up like a gate, and then it'll help get picked up by the jet stream eventually as it slides to the northeast, and that's when we see the speed up and less of a flash flood threat. But still going to keep those flood watches up all the way through North Georgia, western South Carolina, North Carolina, far southeastern Tennessee. That's where you see that reach. Even Norfolk, Virginia finds themselves now with a chance of, say, 4 to 6 inches. But I'm really concerned, again, about Atlanta or Montgomery because this is not a storm just for the coast. Even though the worst of the damage will be found there, we could see an additional 20 inches before this thing moves out away from the Florida Panhandle.
20 inches. Wow. Ginger, we watched you earlier this morning, you know, bundled in the rain and the wind, even sometimes having to hold on to the railing and keep yourself on there. I know you guys are pros, but just explain a little bit about how you guys go about covering storms like this safely.
I think that's a great question. It all comes from the planning, right? So we know as meteorologists how and where we should be to get the best impacts, but then to be safe. So once we're here in Mobile, for example, we parked ourselves right behind an area where yes, I'm here and I look really, it is very windy and I'm not faking that part whatsoever, but I can take cover right behind here. That keeps me safe from debris. My crew, if Jimmy behind the camera, who's been a warrior this whole morning, will turn around. Jason's holding the cables. They are more protected by this parking spot. Kay is doing the audio. And back in the way back, you can see the satellite truck. We knew that this storm here in Mobile would have northeast to southwest winds. So we positioned all of us to have this major brick and cement building protecting us. And that's how we make those types of choices. Believe me, I got 2 boys and a husband at home. They would kill me if I ever put myself at risk. That is never what I'm here to do. Definitely not for my crew. And fortunately, I've been chasing every storm from Katrina on. So I've had a lot of experiences. Here I knew too, I'd have no flying debris. It's open river behind me. So we're in much better shape when we're in this spot.
That's for sure. Yet again, why we were more kind of remind our viewers that just because they see you out in the storm, that they should stay safe inside their homes.
Should not.
Ginger, thanks so much.
And the other thing is
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to add that the only other thing is you see that I've changed a couple of times. No matter what waterproof clothing you have on, you do get penetrated by that rain. And I'd say that's probably the most unsafe part of the job. I was freezing. I had to go take a hot shower and come back out here to get my body core temperature back up. So I'd say that's the part that I need to figure out. We need waterproof head to toe somehow. Next time I'm doing this with a garbage bag.
I'm sure you'd make it look great, Ginger. Let's get you and the crew back inside. Thanks so much. And joining us now for more on this, Red Cross spokeswoman April Obliger is here. April, good morning. Thanks for being here.
Good morning.
So I know the winds with the storm there aren't super strong, but it is slow moving, which means lots of rain and the potential for really bad flooding. How do you deal with that?
Well, we encourage people to listen to local officials. It's the most important thing. If they are asked to evacuate, do it. If people don't evacuate when they are asked, when we need to help them, it's going to be harder to get to them. So please, please, please listen to local officials and evacuate if necessary.
One of the big questions since we are in a pandemic is where those people evacuate to. You know, some of these areas have shelters. They're used to this kind of area, this kind of weather. But then they encourage people not to go to those shelters this time because they don't want crowds because of the pandemic. So how does the Red Cross help evacuees in these situations?
We understand people are uncertain, especially in this current pandemic, but we want to reassure you that we can offer you a safe place to go. Our sheltering options vary from community to community, and we're working with local officials and local partners to make sure that we have safe places for people to stay. In some cases, that might be a hotel. In other places, it might be a congregate shelter. But in those situations, we are making sure that we have extra precautions to keep people safe.
And aside from shelter, what do you think people dealing with this storm need the most right now?
We just want them to know that they have a safe place to go. We recognize that this is a difficult time. Nobody wants to have to leave their home and to have to face this. So we want people to be prepared, and we want people to know that if they do have to leave their homes, that we are here, we are ready, we stand beside you, we have a place for you to stay, a place for you to get a meal, a place for you to just recharge.
And how do those people find these resources? What do they do in order to find the Red Cross in these circumstances? And then what can those of us not in the storm zone do to help?
Well, you can find resources if you're in an impacted area by visiting redcross.org. You can check with local officials or download the Red Cross Emergency app. It's got real-time weather alerts, preparedness tips, how to deal with flooding, as well as maps of our shelters. Additionally, for those who are at home and unaffected by the storm, we encourage you to make a financial donation, to volunteer to help people, or even donate blood. And you can find out how at redcross.org.
All right, April Obliger from the Red Cross, thank you for your time this morning, and thank you for the incredible work you do. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
United Airlines has announced it is using robots to try to make flying safer during the pandemic. United says the robots can disinfect an entire 737 in about 90 seconds. Our Gio Benitez has an exclusive look.
This morning, United is giving us an up-close look at a powerful new robot spraying a protectant intended to kill viruses and bacteria. Here's how it works. The company says within seconds, a single spray covers anything within a 12-foot radius, and when it dries, it creates a bed of microscopic pins. When viruses or bacteria fall on those pins, United says the cells burst, killing them on impact.
How can you be sure it works?
Well, look, this is one of the reasons that we have complementary technology that we're using. And the combination of this antimicrobial technology along with the disinfectant application technology that we're using, along with masks, all of that together provides for a really safe environment on board our aircraft.
And it's happening at high speeds.
The company says that this can disinfect a 737, the most popular plane, within a minute and a half.
It won't be used every day. That's because United says the chemical is effective for about a week. The plane will get a touch-up every 7 days. But with the mist awaiting EPA approval, some doctors would like to see more data.
There should be some caution here because the studies and the information is evolving. We don't yet know how this impacts people's health when it's used for short, medium, or long periods of time.
Nick Federico created the microsonic robot.
There's a reason why you're using this overnight.
Yep. So we do this overnight just to ensure customer safety. The chemical we use, once it's bound, it's completely bound to the surface itself. It can't leave the surface.
The airlines are desperate to get more people comfortable with flying. This time last year, TSA screened nearly 2.5 million passengers daily. That number Monday, just over 700,000, mostly visiting friends and family. Still, United says this new robot will not replace daily manual cleaning.
Can you promise that these protocols are going to be in place for a long time or forever?
Well, what we certainly know is that our customers' expectations are changing. And when it comes to safety, we're not going to cut corners.
And a new Harvard report says when you wear a surgical mask on a plane, the risk of infection drops to less than 1%. So it's just so important to wear those face coverings. Diane?
All right, Gio Benitez for us. Thanks, Gio. Very interesting. And influencers and celebrities, including Kim Kardashian West, Leonardo DiCaprio, and Katy Perry, are all freezing their Instagram accounts today. They're protesting what they call Facebook's failure to address election misinformation and hate speech. Facebook owns Instagram. Users are posting the hashtag #StopHateForProfit, asking others to take a break from posting to Instagram, except to post information about Facebook's practices. Facebook declined to comment, but pointed to recent announcements about what it's doing to protect the election, including not accepting new political ads in the week before the election. For more on science and tech headlines now, here's ABC's Mona Kozar-Abdi.
In today's Tech Bites, Dunkin' makes a deal. The company has settled a lawsuit with New York stemming from a 2015 data breach. The suit claimed Dunkin' failed to notify customers about the breach and failed to investigate it. The settlement calls for about 20,000 Dunkin' customers to receive a refund. Apple has unveiled 2 new watches. The more expensive one includes enhanced health features, including the ability to track your blood oxygen level. Another feature of the watch is automatic hand washing detection, which recognizes the motion of hand washing, then encourages you to wash for the recommended 20 seconds. And Apple is brightening up its new line of iPads. The latest iPad Air will come in 5 colors, including green and sky blue. The home button is gone, but there's a Touch ID sensor on the top to unlock the screen. Those are your Tech Bites. Diane, as long as I can get it in ruby, indigo, or snow to match my iMac, I'll be okay, because you still have yours too, right?
Oh, all
Diane,
the colors.
back to you.
All the colors, Mona. Mona Kozar-Abdi, thank you. And that does it for this ABC News Live update. I'm Diane Macedo. Thanks for joining us. And remember, ABC News Live is here for you all day with the latest news, context, and analysis. Also, programming note, if you missed the ABC News Town Hall with President Trump last night, you can see a rebroadcast right here on ABC News Live at 12:30 Eastern and 5:30 Eastern today. Up next, GMA's top stories. Have a great day.
Hi everyone, George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.